С этой угрозой, с пандемией коронавирусной инфекции и продемонстрировал затем всему миру, что можно успешно с этим бороться. Я хочу вас поздравить, уважаемые.
盘点老外如何评价我国防疫
There was a case that popped up in Qingdao. 12 cases, locally contracted, so it's a big worry. They don't really know exactly where it came from. So what does Qingdao do? They test 9 million of the Qingdao residents. This country is going, well, I don't want to say they're going above and beyond. They're doing what has to be done. And other countries who might be suffering this are suffering it sort of needlessly out of their own mismanagement.
Nice.
Mi nismo imali respiratora, mi nismo imali opreme, mi nismo imali milion stvari koje su nam nedostajale. Mađarsko rekao mi je, idi u Kinu, samo požuri, to je jedini način da dobiješ nešto. Kažem da mi Srbi dobro pamtimo i dobro znamo ko nam je i kako.
People are keeping an eye on each other because the roads are closed too. You're not supposed to leave at all. So the neighbors are keeping an eye on their neighbors to see if anybody's breaking the rules. And so all the other towns have set up people that are stopping outsiders from coming in. This guy's literally holding down the fort.
And being a part of it, being in China during this outbreak and seeing how the Chinese deal with it is actually amazing. They when the shit hits the fan, they quarantine. They take temperatures. They close schools. They close down public transportation. As I say, they quarantine everybody coming into the country. They lock down areas of the city. They actually lock down cities. They lock down provinces to make sure that this doesn't spread any further than it has to. And they're looking at life is more important.
So, our opinion.
Actually, everything is fine.
Yes.
It feels pretty safe in general.
Everything is open, so we just visit our gym, so everything is fine.
Yeah.
So
Wear
no,
masks on subway.
yes, no new case.
打疫苗吗？打好了呀。哦，好。打疫苗吗，哥们？打好了，好吧。没打快点来哈。
生气，为什么生气呢？因为我的国家在抗击病毒方面做的好像没有其他国家多，英国好像没有充分利用中国为世界争取的宝贵时间，没有采取必要的防控措施来控制疫情蔓延。现在，除非是重症患者，英国不再检测每一个有疑似症状的人，没有关闭学校，没有推进零接触的措施。英国好像没有注意到我为防止病毒传播所做的事情，不知道英国为什么没有这么做。英国专家说了，很多人感染能产生herd immunity 群体免疫力，意思是因为愿意让很多人得病吗？那我一听到这个 herd immunity 这个方法，我个人就觉得我国家已经放弃了。我是英国人，我生气。
Where they live, and nobody is really going out anyway because people are super terrified. And this is all because of one confirmed case. Remember, the city has 10 million people, so it's kind of crazy to think that people are terrified. But this is exactly why China will overcome this pandemic.
这个新冠疫情的所有的新冠疫情在这里是全世界最多的。然后你到美国没有人管你，拿了行李后我们去我们的隔离的。
We're like the part of China
Hubei province, where a lot of the cases were in one city, Wuhan. Lockdowns that we do won't be as strictly enforced, but they are very, very important. But it is very good news that China, although they're maintaining a lot of measures, they are not seeing a rebound. They're not seeing cases coming back, even though they are sending people back to the factories and sending people back to schools. And, so thank goodness if we're seeing a big
不让我说话，他们先说了别回来。他们来过中国，他们看过这的情况怎么样，他们毫不怀疑中国有能力处理好这个问题。
天来测2次体温，每个星期还要做1次核酸检测。总的来说，这次回中国，我真的会感觉到中国和美国在防疫上真的有很多。
Individual responsibility that we saw in the Chinese people. When you travel around the country for 3 weeks and you're staying in hotels, you're traveling in trains, you're in restaurants or various places, socially distanced, very distant often, but you do meet a lot of people, a lot of Chinese individuals, and their sense of responsibility for keeping the world safe, keeping their communities safe, for doing the right thing was probably the most striking thing we saw, that sense of collective responsibility. And when you talk about the sacrifices that were being made, it was their duty, was for their own.
是可以值得高兴的，就是中国的疫苗又来了。巴基斯坦就是从中国的3家公司购买了超过3000万例冠状病毒疫苗。虽然呢是购买的，但是我们也是买中国的，因为在这次疫情中没有哪个国家可以跟中国相比。中国力量已经逐渐的成功这个世界的主角。
China managed to get the virus under control quite quickly, and our lockdown was lifted, and soon we were allowed to go out again. The streets here in China were packed with people. It was busy everywhere. But my friends and family in other countries were going through the struggles that we had already been through here in China. So this difference was really a big difference, and it was quite difficult for me to see. And for that reason, I was super happy to
Nice.
Home in the U.S., mask wearing has become increasingly controversial. And sure, when I started wearing a mask daily back in January, it was an adjustment for me. But what you see here now since is this social acceptance. I thought I'd show you around to see the striking difference in cultural attitudes.
A weekday morning rush hour. Walk with us through the streets of Beijing. Look to my right, my left, behind me, and even headed right toward me. You notice just about every commuter wearing a face mask.
The secret, how China controls this situation and why other country doesn't do this. Country, there is no confidence, no trust between people and government. If government say stay home, people don't stay home. But here in Wuhan, 22 January night, stay home, government say. 23, I went out, no one outside. It was unbelievable for me. Here is the secret, if there is secret, it's the trust, the confidence. And this confidence is not coming from nothing, because people know that government have planned for everything, and this is what we saw during.
China has had enormous success in beating down its epidemic. We don't know what's going to happen when China tries to reopen its economy and let people go back to the factories and back to the subways and back to offices and restaurants and everything else. We don't know what's going to happen, and they're going to do it in a very slow, graduated way, but they have been in lockdown all this time. But We see the drone shots from these cities and we think, ooh, lockdown, it looks terrible, there's no traffic on the street. That's not the point of what they did. They had to do that in order to introduce the measures they were going to take that were actually going to fight the epidemic.
China acted swiftly and they brought in many measures that everybody followed very quickly. We could have stopped the virus as a global community. However, different countries have different measures and different rules, but I've been very impressed with how China has tackled the pandemic and tackled the virus.
没离开北京 ，COVID 开始，我和我先生就几分钟之内确定不离开中国是最安全的。
Here in China and everybody was acting very responsibly. That's when the first wave happened in Europe. So it turned. I was more worried about them.
I mean, China has managed this very well. I think she was more worried about me eating too much.
China has vaccinated 100 million people in 5 days. Was this impressive achievement announced on Western media? Was this on their headlines that China vaccinated 100 million people in 5 days? No, it wasn't. They're too busy, too concerned, accusing and attacking others